She touched the napkin. He froze. What she whispered next made the most dangerous man in the city realize he was already dead. But 3 hours earlier, she was invisible. And that invisibility was about to save his life. This is the story of how a burned spy became a criminal's most valuable weapon. In under 2 hours. The Jade Lotus wasn't the kind of place you stumbled into. It was the kind of place that decided whether you belonged. And Naledi had spent 3 years proving she didn't exist. Every Tuesday night, the same booth. The same 3 men. And the same carefully performed ignorance when she refilled their water. She'd learned their patterns. Kongmin Ro always sat facing the door. Always ordered the same whiskey. Never looked at servers. Never had to. Tonight felt different. The air was wrong. Conversations too quiet. Men who usually laughed sat rigid, phones in hand, watching the door like prey animals sensing a predator. And Kongmin's table was the epicenter. June, the scarred one, kept checking his phone. Kept glancing at the entrance. Kept not eating. Day, the older one, had white knuckles where he gripped his glass. And Kongmin himself had a tension in his shoulders that Naledi recognized from another life. From intelligence briefings before operations went sideways. She approached with her water pitcher. "May I refresh?" That's when she saw it. June crumpled something with barely concealed rage. Tossed it onto the table. A napkin. White fabric. Black ink. Dark stains. Kongmin glanced at it. For 1 microsecond, his jaw clenched. Then nothing. Perfect control. But Naledi had seen it. And from where she stood, even upside down, even crumpled, she could see the structure. Those weren't random marks. That was code. Naval encryption. The kind she used to write before the government burned her and threw her away. "May I clear this?" Her voice was steady. Forgettable. Professional. No one looked up. "Fine," the older enforcer muttered, waving dismissively. Her fingers touched the fabric. And the world sharpened. Korean Hangul characters. GPS coordinate fragments. Military time stamps. Directional encoding. All embedded in what looked like coffee stains and blood. This was a dual-layer logistics cipher. She'd broken 1,000 of them. Her pulse spiked. Her hands stayed steady. She folded the napkin. Placed it on her tray. Turned. Walked. No one noticed. No one ever did. That was the gift of invisibility. And the curse. In the narrow hallway behind the kitchen, she stopped. The restaurant sounds faded, clinking glasses, murmured Korean, the hiss of grills. She was alone. She unfolded the napkin. And her blood went cold. Pier 19. Midnight. Container 447B. But the timestamp was offset. 6 hours wrong. Deliberately wrong. And there, barely visible beneath a blood smear, the mark she'd hoped never to see again. The duress marker. Someone had been tortured to write this. This wasn't a shipping manifest. This was an execution disguised as business. Kongmin was being sent to the wrong place at the wrong time. And whoever was waiting at Pier 19 wasn't there to deliver cargo. Naledi's hands weren't shaking. They never did anymore. Not after what the Navy did to her. Not after the betrayal. Not after losing everything because she chose to tell the truth instead of the convenient lie. She should walk away. Throw the napkin in the trash. Go back to being no one. Safe. Invisible. Alive. But then she thought about the look on Kongmin's face. That microsecond of fear. And she knew exactly what it felt like to be sold out by people you trusted. She walked back into the lounge. Every step deliberate. The napkin felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Kangmin was still speaking in low tones to June about routes and timelines. He had no idea he was planning his own funeral. She didn't wait for permission. She leaned down. Close to his ear. Close enough to smell expensive cologne and gun oil. Close enough to feel him go rigid the instant before she spoke. Pier 19. Midnight. Container 447B. It's wrong. You have 90 minutes before you're dead. He froze. Completely. Every muscle locked. His hand stopped mid-reach for his glass. His conversation with June severed mid-word. The entire booth became a photograph. And in the stillness, she could feel the danger radiating off him like heat. The restaurant continued around them. Laughter at the bar. A server walked past. Glass clinked. But in this corner, in this moment, a calculation was happening that would end with someone alive and someone dead. Then, slowly, like ice cracking, he turned his head. His eyes were black. Sharp. Lethal. And locked onto her with the focus of a man deciding if she was his salvation or his executioner. What did you say? Not a question. A test. His voice was barely a whisper, but it cut like a surgical blade. June and Day stopped talking. Turned. Saw their boss staring at a waitress with an expression they'd never seen. June's hand moved toward his jacket. Toward the gun. Naledi didn't flinch. She pulled out a pen. And wrote directly on the blood-stained napkin. For corrections. She set the napkin in front of him. Pier 22. 11 p.m. Container 447A. Your logistics officer was tortured. This, she pointed to the blood, is proof. You have 87 minutes. Tick-tock. June's gun was halfway out. Kangmin raised one finger. Just one. June froze. The gun stayed hidden. But his eyes never left Naledi. Who the fuck are you? He snarled. Naledi looked at him for the first time. Really looked. I'm the person who just saved all your lives. You're welcome. Then she looked back at Kangmin. You want to know who I am? Or do you want to know why you're still breathing? Silence. Heavy. Dangerous. Then Kangmin smiled. It wasn't warm. It was the smile of a shark recognizing another apex predator. Sit, he said. One word. Absolute command. Naledi slid into the booth across from him. Set her tray aside. June looked like he was about to have an aneurysm. Boss, we don't, this could. June shut up. June's mouth snapped closed. Kangmin leaned forward. Steepled his fingers. Explain. Everything. And if you're lying, they'll never find your body. Naledi pointed to the symbols. Dual-layer naval logistics cipher. Korean Hangul phonetic substitution over base 60 nautical grid. The kind I used to write for U.S. naval intelligence before they made me a scapegoat and destroyed my career. The booth went silent. June's eyes went wide. Day went pale. Kangmin's expression didn't change. Naval intelligence. Signals and East Asian logistics. 3 years. Specialized in exactly this, encrypted maritime routes, counterintelligence, pattern recognition. She traced the timestamp. This offset. 6 hours negative. That's not an error. That's a misdirection protocol. And this, she pointed to the tiny mark near blood, is a duress marker. Military standard. It means whoever wrote this was being tortured. The blood confirms it. Kangmin's face became granite. Meaning? Meaning someone captured your logistics officer. Broke them. Forced them to encode false coordinates. The real shipment arrives at Pier 22 at 11 p.m. If you go to Pier 19 at midnight, you won't find cargo. She paused. You'll find people waiting to kill you. Why are you telling me this? Kangmin's voice was soft. Lethal. Naledi met his eyes. Because I know what it feels like to be sold out by people you trust. And because, she paused, I need a job. June laughed. Actually laughed. You're fucking insane. You walk up to a mafia boss, tell him he's about to die, and ask for a job. Naledi didn't look at him. Kept her eyes on Kangmin. I'm not insane. I'm practical. The Navy threw me away. I'm not asking them for a second chance. You're asking to join a criminal organization, Kangmin said. No euphemism. No pretense. I'm asking to survive using the only skills I have left, Naledi replied. You need someone who can see threats before they kill you. I need someone who won't betray me for politics. Sounds like alignment to me. Kangmin studied her. Long enough that June started to sweat. Long enough that Day's hand drifted toward his phone. Then, how do I know you're not part of this? That this isn't layer 2 of the trap? You don't, Naledi said simply. In 83 minutes, you'll either be at the right pier collecting your shipment, or at the wrong pier getting executed. Your choice. I just gave you the option to make an informed one. Silence. Then Kangmin pulled out his phone. June, verify. I want confirmation of activity at Pier 22 within 5 minutes. June was already dialing. Day. Secure transport. Heavy weapons. Full team. We move in 15. Day hesitated. Just for a microsecond. His hand twitched toward his phone instead of leaving immediately. Naledi filed that away. Then he left. Kangmin looked at her. You're coming with us. If you're right, you get the job. If you're wrong. I know, Naledi said. I'll be the first to regret it. You've mentioned. She stood. But I'm not wrong. And before this night is over, you're going to owe me a lot more than a job. His eyes narrowed. Confident. Correct, she replied. There's a difference. For the first time, she saw something flicker across his face. Not respect. Not yet. But, interest. June came back. Boss. Confirmed. Container activity at Pier 22. Early arrival. Matches the timeline he glared at Naledi, indicated. Kangmin stood. Buttoned his suit jacket. And Pier 19. June's jaw clenched. Multiple vehicles. Unknown operators. Ambush formation. The booth went silent. Naledi said nothing. Didn't need to. The vindication spoke for itself. Kangmin looked at her. Really looked. You just saved my life. Not yet, Naledi said. You still have to listen to me for the next hour. That's the hard part for men like you. June looked like he wanted to shoot her. Kangmin laughed. One sharp bark. I definitely like you. Let's go. 12 minutes later, Naledi was in the back of a Mercedes. Tinted windows. Leather seats. The smell of money and violence. Kangmin beside her. June driving. Day coordinating vehicles up front. The city slid past outside. Streets she'd walked 1,000 times looked different from this side of the glass. Why'd they burn you? Kangmin asked. Direct. No preamble. Naledi looked out the window. I identified a target as civilian infrastructure. My superior called it military. I refused to sign off. The operation went forward. 12 people died. They needed a scapegoat. She turned to look at him. I was convenient. You chose truth over career, Kongmin said. Stupid. Yeah, Naledi agreed. I learned. Truth doesn't matter. Only leverage. Confirmation, June said from the front. Our team has the container. Pier 22. Clean extraction. Kongmin's phone lit up. He checked it. Smiled coldly. And Pier 19. June's voice was tight with suppressed violence. Still waiting. 23 men. Rival gang. They've been there 40 minutes. Starting to realize no one's coming. Naledi allowed herself a small smile. Kongmin saw it. What? I was just thinking, she said, about how they're standing in the rain, waiting to kill you, while you're dry and alive and about to be very, very rich. Poetic. Kongmin laughed again. Longer this time. June. Are we recording Pier 19? Full surveillance. Facial recognition running. Good. I want to know every face. Every plate. Every organization that just declared war on me. The car pulled into a warehouse district. Industrial. Dark. Empty. The kind of place that didn't exist on official maps. They stopped. Stepped out into cold night air. The warehouse was massive. Concrete and steel. Harsh fluorescent lights. And in the center, container 447A. Already open. Inside, crates of high-end electronics. Military-grade semiconductors. Encryption hardware. Worth 8 figures. Minimum. Kongmin inspected them silently. Then turned to Naledi. You saved this. You understand that? Naledi looked at the cargo. At the armed guards. At the cathedral of crime around her. I corrected bad intelligence. You saved it by trusting me. That took more courage than you want to admit. He studied her. You're either fearless or suicidal. I haven't decided which. Neither, Naledi said. I'm just done being afraid of men who think they're more dangerous than they are. June snorted. You think the boss isn't dangerous? Naledi looked at him. I think everyone's dangerous when they're scared. The boss is scared right now. He just hides it better than you. The temperature in the warehouse dropped 10 degrees. June's hand moved to his gun. Kongmin held up one finger. June stopped. Explain, Kongmin said quietly. Someone inside your organization just tried to kill you, Naledi said. That napkin wasn't written by an enemy. It was written by one of yours. Under duress, yes. But the code structure, the encryption pattern, that's not something you torture out of someone. That's embedded knowledge. Meaning whoever wrote the original false code, before your officer was forced to copy it, was someone in your network. Someone who knows your encryption. Your routes. Your timing. She paused. Someone in this room. Day's face went white. Then red. That's insane. I've been loyal for 12 years, Kongmin said softly. His voice was a razor. Which is exactly why you'd be chosen. Because I'd never suspect. He pulled out a tablet. Handed it to Naledi. Prove it. Naledi took it. Sat on a shipping crate. And for the first time in 3 years, did what she was born to do. Her fingers flew. Communication logs. Encryption signatures. Network analysis. Pattern recognition. 7 minutes later, she turned the screen around. There. 3 external communications. Last week. Different locations. Different encryption keys. Same structural signature as the napkin code. Kongmin's face became stone. Who? Nality pulled up the profile. Day. Day's hand went for his gun. June was faster. Pressed his weapon against Day's temple. Don't fucking move. How did you know? Kongmin asked Nality. Not Day. Her. He was the only one who asked the right question earlier, Nality said. When I explained the duress marker, he asked, how do you know it's not an error? That's not the question someone asks when learning new information. That's the question someone asks when testing if you know what they know. Plus, she continued, when Kongmin ordered him to secure transport, he hesitated. Reached for his phone instead of just leaving. He was going to warn someone. I noticed. Kongmin looked at Day. Who paid you? Silence. Who? Paid. You. Still nothing. Kongmin nodded once. June and two other guards dragged Day toward a back room. Day didn't struggle. He knew. Everyone knew. The door closed. Kongmin turned to Nality. You just identified a mole in 7 minutes. 8, Nality corrected. I'm slowing down without proper equipment. He smiled. Cold. Sharp. You're hired. Director of Intelligence. Office. Team. Full access. You answer only to me. Starting salary, he named a figure that made Nality's 3 years of waitressing look like pocket change. I want autonomy, Nality said. I report what I find. Even if it's you. Especially if it's me, Kongmin replied. I don't pay for comfort. I pay for truth before it kills me. He extended his hand. Deal. Nality stood. Shook it. His grip was cold. Strong. Final. Deal. But I want one more thing. His eyebrow raised. Brave. What? Access to international intelligence databases. I want to know who burned me. And when I find them, she met his eyes, I want your resources to make sure they regret it. Kongmin's smile widened. Now you're speaking my language. Done. From the back room, a screen cut off abruptly. Nality didn't flinch. You don't want to know what he's saying? Kongmin asked, testing. I want to know who paid him, Nality said. How you get that information is your business. I do intelligence. You do consequences. Division of labor. 16 days later, Nality sat in an office on the 3rd floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows. 6 monitors. Secure servers humming. And a door that locked from the inside. On her screen, intercepted communications. Russian naval code. Modified. Korean overlay. Sophisticated. She'd been breaking it for 20 minutes. Almost done. The door opened without knocking. Kongmin entered with a folder. New problem. Rival organization. Encrypted. Russian naval code, Korean phonetic overlay, triple-layer encryption, Nality finished without looking up. I'm already on it. Give me 40 minutes. Kongmin paused. Smiled. You intercepted them before I did. That's what you pay me for. To see threats before they see you. She finally looked up. Also, you have a leak in your transportation division. Vehicle 7. Driver's cousin works for the Russians. I already sent you the file. When? 3 hours ago. You've been busy. Kongmin laughed. Sat in the chair across from her. You're terrifying. I'm not sure if I hired you or if you acquired me. Little of both, Nality said, turning back to her screen. Also, I found them. Kongmin went still. Found who? The people who burned me. Naval Intelligence Officer Marcus Reeves. Analyst Director Sarah Chen. They're both still active. Still destroying careers to protect their mistakes. She pulled up photos. Files. Evidence. And they're both in Seoul right now. Trade conference. Kangmin studied the screen. What do you want? Naladi's smile was cold. I want them to know I'm alive. I want them to know I know. And I want them to spend every day waiting for the consequences that are coming. Not revenge? Kangmin asked. Not yet, Naladi said. Revenge is quick. Fear is forever. I want them afraid. Like I was. But worse. Because they'll know I have resources now. They'll know I'm not alone. They'll know I'm coming. Just not when. She turned to look at him. That's what 3 years of being invisible taught me. The most dangerous person in any room is the one no one sees until it's too late. Kangmin was quiet for a long moment. Then he stood. I'm very glad you're working with me. Not against me. So am I, Naladi said. So am I. He left. The door closed. Naladi turned back to her screens. Outside her window, Seoul glittered. The same city that had ignored her. Made her invisible. Thrown her away. The same city that now ran on her intelligence. She pulled up the Russian intercepts. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. The first layer fell away. Then the second. The third would take another hour. But she had time. Because power wasn't about being loud. It was about being irreplaceable. About knowing things no one else knew. About turning invisible moments into undeniable leverage. The people who underestimate you give you the most power. Because they never see you coming. Until it's exactly too late. She smiled at her screen. And got back to work.